Hey guys, how's it going? Dr. Dan here. It's great to join you folks again. I know it's been a little while since we've had a chance to talk, and I just wanted to update you guys on what's going on, give you a little input onto breath technique when inhaling cannabis products. By the way, sorry for missing 420 hump day yesterday, folks. I was having some technical issues. If I'm having a little bit of technical issue regarding the synchronization of the video and the audio playback, I do apologize. All right. On that note, I just want to jump right into it and delve into what we're talking about today, guys. Inhalation technique is important, folks. I know that there's a lot of variation between what medical cannabis patients are doing as far as smoking versus vaping, whether they're taking big, huge bong rips, whether they're taking itty bitty one hitter hits, that sort of thing. I just think it's really important that we go over this so patients can have a good experience and not put their lungs under undue stress. All right. I think that's important. Now, as you see in the read up, if you caught the read up, guys, smaller breaths. I just wanted to give the spoiler alert right on the front end, just so everyone can know what I'm about to delve into. If you don't really see the rest of the video, then fine. I'm going to give you the logic behind the smaller breaths, but really that's really the key. And I'll tell you why. Okay, folks, listen up. So imagine that we're smoking from a joint, all right? As you guys know, I'm not a big fan of smoking, but all other things being equal, let's just say that we're smoking from a joint because it happens quite often. So, folks, let's imagine little pen here. This is our joint, all right? Smoking on it. Okay, so you have two ways of doing it. You can take a big huge hit of it and fill your lungs up with smoke and then go into a big huge coughing fit, or you can take a smaller hit, chase it with a bunch of oxygen, and exhale. All right, now the disadvantage to filling up your lungs with smoke is that, well, you're filling your lungs with smoke. All right, just let that sink in for a while. When you fill your lungs with smoke, you automatically activate the cough reflex because the lungs are going to tell the brain that we're in an emergency situation and we're in a burning house and we're about to die. All right. So you go into a coughing fit, your body turns on its fight or flight sympathetic response, and you get all jazzed up and anxious. All right. Even worse, if you hold your breath and your lungs are filled with smoke, you're going to go into panic mode in addition to going into a coughing fit. On top of that, you're wasting the great majority of the hit because you're holding it into an airspace where you're not getting exchange of cannabinoids from the lungs into the bloodstream. Okay, so let's compare this with the effective inhalation. All right, so for the effective inhalation, guys, I like to stress that in order to really get the good maximal effects from a cannabis dose, really, if you're going the inhaled route, okay, all you have to do is get the inhalation to, I'm just going to stand up so you guys can see, to the bottom of the lungs. Okay, folks, the bottom of the lungs is where the lung base, that's where the lungs are the widest. You have the greatest amount of volume at the bottom of the lungs. All right, which makes sense, because that's where your thorax can expand the most and the ribs can fan out the most and just allow for the most volume of filling. Okay, that's where, just going by gravity, that's where that dense capillary bed, all the blood vessels, they're hanging out at the bottom of the lung because the diaphragm is down there. The diaphragm is working all the time. The diaphragm never stops working. It's going 24/7, 365. It's like your heart. It's always working. This is one of these things that just needs a constant blood supply. Okay, so the diaphragm sits just under your lung. Your lung is sitting on top of the diaphragm. Sandwiched in between them is a very dense blood vessel bed. All right, so the reason why I bring up this crucial anatomy lesson is because if you want to get the most out of your hit, you don't really need to get a whole bunch of hit. All you need to do is get some smoke, get some vapor if you're vaporizing smartly. Get it to the bottom of the lung, right? Take a smaller inhalation like this. You see about 80% of that breath is just oxygen. All right. Well, room air containing oxygen. All right. Not pure oxygen, but room air containing oxygen. All right, about 20% oxygen. So with that inhalation, you're able to do two things. You're able to get it to the bottom of the lung, the active site where you have that dense vascular bed. You're going to get a lot of exchange. That THC and the accessory cannabinoids, they're going to diffuse instantly. All right, you don't have to hold your breath, folks. For those doing that thing where you try and hold some smoke or some vapor inside your lungs, and then you go crazy with a coughing fit because your lungs don't like that. Well, surprise, surprise, folks. Holding your breath doesn't do anything good. All right. THC is very soluble across that layer, across the lung layer going into the blood vessels, right? That interface. THC and the other accessory cannabinoids, they just diffuse quite freely across that membrane. They just go right in. So the instant that you inhale, just diffuses right through. All right. But it doesn't make sense to take such a big inhalation that you have smoke filling up the lung, and it's not getting, there's a smaller proportion when you take a big inhalation of smoke, a smaller proportion of that smoke is going to get to that diffusing surface where you can get something useful out of it. So when you think about taking a bigger hit versus a smaller hit that has a higher proportion of room air and a small proportion of smoke or vapor, that hit that has less smoke is going to be more effective and efficient at getting the patient that degree of euphoria that they're looking for without wasting their product, A, and exposing themselves to a higher concentration of THC than what they actually need to get in order to get high. So you can get just as high by taking a smaller inhalation. Okay? That's really the aha moment that I want folks to sort of land on, right? So instead of taking one big hit, you can take yourself 2 or 3 smaller hits, allow yourself more oxygen. You'll have less relative lung irritation, and you'll have a more happy experience because you're not going to be coughing and going through this stressful experience of just getting yourself lifted to get yourself happy. Okay, it's not a race. You don't need to take big hits. Big hits are just dumb. All right, don't be that dumb pothead, folks. Take regular size inhalations, and you'll have a much better time, much better experience. You're not going to run into tolerance and have to take a tolerance break because you're not going to be exposing your body to an unhealthy amount of THC in a single inhalation or smoke. All right, it's smoke and vapor that we're taking in, folks. Tread lightly. All right, if you follow it with a lot of oxygen, the great thing that you get when you follow a small inhalation of vapor or smoke with oxygen, the advantage you get is that these cannabinoids, surprise, surprise, they're turned on by oxygen. So you want to keep the flow of oxygen chased right behind it, and you'll get a more physiologic type of euphoric experience, okay? So I just wanted to give you guys that quick technique tip. I think it's helpful. I think it's useful. So take it, try that, all right? Instead of doing these big useless hits, try out the smaller hit technique. I think you guys will be pleased, all right? Lovely joining you guys again. I know New Year's is coming up. Folks, be safe in your dosing. Don't dose cannabis products and drive, especially if you're going to be using alcohol. Don't drink and drive. That's stupid as hell. I hate that. I don't know how many people actually catch my videos, but don't drink and drive. Don't use cannabis products and get yourself intoxicated and drive. You could hurt yourself. You could hurt someone else. That's not cool. Don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt other people. Let's be happy and enjoy ourselves and have a good time. Be safe. Live a long life. Observe good public health practices, and don't put you and other good citizens in danger. It's not fair. Don't do it, please. Love you guys. Have a great New Year's Eve. Have a great New Year's Day. Have a prosperous 2022 when it does ring in. Can't wait to talk to you guys again soon, okay? Dr. Dan, Happy New Year's 2021. Bye.